But now, well, you can see what's going on here. How many police officers here? That orange tape there, that's the police line.
Like, actually, unironically try to do the, like, hey, I was fucking arrested, detained, against my will, for what, the crime of eating? A succulent breakfast meal, that's all. And then they obviously let me go right away, because look how pasty and white I am. I'm so damn creamy, they're not allowed to hold me for more than 15 minutes. I think that's actual Canadian law. That's somewhere in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. They just put me up next to a jar of mayonnaise, and immediately it was like, oh yeah, no, let him go. Yeah, no, he has every right to be free. I have covered Rebel News a little bit more frequently lately, especially because people have been asking for some right-wing Canadian content. And I'll be honest, right-wing Canadian content it's pretty silly. Because you know that meme where there's like the kid with the boot on his head and he's like, and you're like, that's horrifying. And then as it zooms out, it's the kid holding the boot and he's like that is what Rebel News is. They have the biggest victim complexes. Every single one of them is constantly like, oh, we are being oppressed. Nothing more than Canadian conservatives getting oppressed these days. But today was extra funny. So the guy who started Rebel News, and if you don't know what Rebel News is why all you Americans get to enjoy the pleasures of Lauren Southern, get to enjoy the pleasures of Gavin McInnes, all right? It's where it's basically a little factory. It's like how SNL makes like 5% of the world's top comedians, and then the rest of them are kind of just become cast and characters you don't know about. But that's pretty much it. It's like a little breeding ground for Canadian conservatives. Yeah, I know. It's where they all start out. They all start out there, and then they become famous, and then they go to America, and then they become, you know, Stefan Molyneux and Steven Crowder. And I'm not saying those two started on there. I'm just saying it's kind of a mill for those kind of people. Anyways, the head of it, Ezra Levant, was arrested today. He actually has some street cred.
Touch him! Did you touch him? Why did you touch him?
Because he was getting
No, he drove into me. He drove into me. Are you hiding your name?
Keep your distance.
Now, you want to hear about white privilege. I'll explain white privilege to a couple people here. I know, to my fellow white-skinned individuals, sometimes we forget about our privilege, but I will tell you this, all right? My mother is Indigenous, but I do not appear Indigenous. You wouldn't look at me and look upon me and be like, well, that is certainly an Indigenous man, you know? You might think that there's some ethnic mix going on, especially if you see these lips. Something might be up there, but it's probably not your first go-to. That being said, if you looked Indigenous in Canada and you walked up to a police officer or an RCMP and you pushed them and you shoved them, you would get the living shit beat out of you on the spot. They would fucking floor you. You would be decked and then fucking ripped apart. No question. That's just how it goes in Canada, all right? If you look Indigenous, especially if you have darker skin, they will beat the shit out of you for no reason. Sometimes if they're just having a shitty day, okay? Or worse. I mean, some people are like, yeah, you're lucky if you get the shit beat out of you, because sometimes you just get killed. That's the situation for Indigenous people in Canada. They don't do this. There's no like, hey, come on, buddy. Joe, what? We gonna go? What's going on here, coppers? There's no sizing up police officers. There's no pushing back and forth. You know, this does not happen. Okay.
Here are the thugs. Here are the thugs. Here come the thugs.
Shame! 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 Shame!
Now, by the way, if you're wondering what side do I take here, I mean, I don't like police. I don't like, you know, aggressive use of police force, but this is a bunch of jabronis, right-wing conservatives who basically think they have a news outlet and think they're breaking a story by breaking curfew and then going outside publicly and literally eating brunch. That's what they're doing. So it's kind of boots versus liquors in this one. So much like, you know, when there's a couple monsters fighting in the background, some gaijin, you know, just sit back and enjoy. Pull out the the popcorn, you know.
Shame! 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 Look what they're doing to David! You're a journalist! You're all pieces of shit! Shame!
But again, this might, upon first glance, if you just tuned into the show right now, right, you might be like, oh, this looks rough. I mean, you know, your empathy goo, I feel, might be getting charged up a little bit, and it's great that you wonderful cozy little lefties have a lot of that goo, that empathy goo. It goes a long way, and it's useful to have empathy goo, but don't let your empathy goo here betray you. Okay, this is entirely a situation which they've created themselves, and again, it's to be able to paint themselves as a victim. We'll get into it. Don't worry.
Shame! 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 Look what this! I'm going to...
Send fucking 10 thugs, go out in front of the fucking car and push him. Fucking pig. Take off your guns and badges. See how fucking tough you are. Throw your guns and badges. You have any fucking balls, you stupid fucking pig. You know how old that man is that you're fucking attacking, you stupid shit. You must feel good when you go.
So anyways, Ezra Levant has had a rough couple of months. You know, he announced that the rebel media is going bankrupt or something like that. But then it turned out it was kind of grifty because they're really, really big on the grift. Like right after they'll show you something like this, immediately they do the Alex Jones thing. Not the selling like the paleo monkey skin or like hyper brain focus juice, but they'll do that thing where like, and now we need your help, Canada. We're going to need all of you to reach deep into your pockets and support us. Go right now to join our legal team for as little as $25. Your donation can help us defeat the evil Justin Trudeau government, the communist government of Justin Trudeau. They're creating Canadian gulags. They're lining up Canadians, putting them in the Canadian gulags, aka 4-star hotels, and forcing them to stay there sometimes for 2 weeks at a time against their will. It's an actual USSR revival going on in Canada. That's what we're seeing here. And of course, no different. You know, as soon as you click on the lockdown report on this, what's the first? Oh, yeah, it goes right there, right to the donation screen. Right on prompt. 50 heavily armed police just raided the hotel where our Rebel News reporter were staying at in Montreal. I told them they couldn't come in and search without a warrant, so instead they manhandled me. They handcuffed Keen Bext, I don't know. And they just put David Menzies in the back of a police car. Police have sealed off the Airbnb we were staying in the police tape. They say it's a crime scene. Of course it's not. In fact, when we asked them what the crime was, all they could come up with was staying in the hotel was a legal gathering, contrary to Quebec's lockdown laws. That's not true. It's registered. It's a legal hotel. It's a rental. It's Airbnb. They can't do this to us. Please donate now. You can donate $2,500 on the spot. Wow, that is a bit of a stretch from what I probably would feel comfortable donating. But hey, it's the highest option here. We can also put more if we needed to through other. I don't know if you remember this guy. This is the individual who said that the hotels in Canada were gulags. I don't know if he has zero understanding of what gulags actually are, or Russian history, or basically what work camps are supposed to be. But he was comparing the 4-star hotel experience at the Radisson to the Canadian gulags. It is, of course, if you are wealthy enough to travel in this time, if you travel from another country to Canada, or you leave Canada and come back, you have to stay in quarantine for a couple weeks. The hotel, which he calls a gulag. Well, this is his report on today's kerfuffle.
Bexy here in Montreal with Rebel News. I'm here just in downtown Montreal by the port, and I was just arrested by the Montreal police. You wouldn't believe what happened. I stepped out of our accommodations to pick up our lunch that was just arriving. I guess it was breakfast. Maybe it was brunch. I have it right here. It was Eggs Benedict for me, and I was excited to have it. And the moment I stepped out, the police started questioning me, demanding
Literally, it's brunch. It was, that's the reason it was brunch. That's the reason this all went down. Brunch is back, everybody, but not in Canada. No, not with the communist Trudeau in power, you know? Goddamn, the Red Scare is real.
ID, my name.
This is not a skit. This is 100% not a skit. This is not a bit. This is an actual dude saying that he's being persecuted for their right to have brunch. Yes, this is real. This is a media outfit.
And birthday, all this information, which I gave to them, but they weren't happy with it. They weren't happy that my ID was still on the boat, and so long story short, they put me in cuffs. And now, it was a bit of a catch and release situation, but now, well, you can see what's going on here. How many police officers here? That orange tape there, that's the police line.
Like, actually, ironically try to do the, like, hey, I was fucking arrested. detained against my will for what? The crime of eating a succulent breakfast meal. That's all. And then they obviously let me go right away because look how pasty and white I am. I'm so damn creamy. They're not allowed to hold me for more than 15 minutes. I think that's actual Canadian law. That's somewhere in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. They just put me up next to a jar of mayonnaise and immediately it was like, oh yeah, no, let him go. Yeah, no, he has every right to be free.
Then that's the police line over there. And then that's where the Rebel News team is, sort of hanging out. They're also on the boat, and the police are moments away from raiding it. If you could believe it. We're here to report on the lockdown situation, a protest involving the lockdown here at 12 p.m. in Montreal. And the police, well, they didn't like that. They knew what we were doing because we told them ahead of time, giving them all of our journalism papers that they require here in Montreal. It's pretty crazy that we have to do that. So, but long story short, they knew what we were doing. They were aware of it because we wanted to be completely on the up and up. And then we wake up the morning of the protest and the police are knocking at our door. One arrested me, and they're moments away from raiding the boat. It's pretty fucking horrifying.
That is
what
true.
Canada has become in just the last 6 months, let alone the last year.
All right, sorry, I missed this big moment. I got to put on. Let's get some music for this. This is a huge moment for him. I got to take it more seriously.
And they're moments away from raiding the boat. It's pretty fucking horrifying what Canada has become in just the last 6 months, let alone the last year. It's horrifying. Go to lockdownreports.com if you want to see the work we're doing here. If you want to help, I'm actually going to get a fine now. If you want to help me pay it, Lockdown Reports is the place to go.
There it is, the fucking grift. Like, it took him, what, like 2 minutes into the video? So I was arrested and then released, kind of a catch and release situation. But anyways, I'm probably gonna have to pay a hefty fine because of the things that I did. Again, I was publicly trying to eat brunch and everything. But anyways, if you want to help me pay the fine that I just got, because I'm not used to having to, take accountability for my own actions, as you can clearly see. Anyways, there's a link in the description, so click on that, please.
This is unacceptable. I think that's pretty clear, and I'll keep you posted right here on Twitter @TheRealKeen with what exactly is going on here, because I'm lucky I'm off the boat right now, but there are rebels on it, so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, they call themselves rebels. Isn't that cute?
Warning.
They call themselves rebels. Hilton COVID hotel inmate share what his experience was like. Oh God, the horrors of what's been happening.
For you, but we're not here to facilitate that, right? We're here to, we're here. You don't have a lawful reason to be here right now, right? And you've been asked to leave, and all we're doing is just ensuring that.
So Canadian gulags have now moved to Hilton hotels. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with the Hiltons. They're a hotel chain. I assume they're akin to concentration camps of some order. So now they're actually putting people in these concentration camps.
Now, so
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he had to hide his identity and to tell his true story of what it was like to go into one of these Canadian gulags, because obviously, at risk under this communist government of Canada, he could be slaughtered. He could be slaughtered. I mean, he could just be picked up any single day, just walking down the street. You never know. I mean, Trudeau's basically Stalin, so he's very, very paranoid.
your identity doesn't really matter, but the story sure does. And folks, what happened with John? He came back to the U.S. from Qatar. He had taken the PCR test in Qatar. He had walked across the bridge from the U.S. to Canada. And typically, these quarantine hotel rules apply to those flying into Canada. You might recall our report on John from last week. He was sent to...
Again, this isn't a bit. I am so very embarrassed to have to bring you guys this and be like, yeah, this is what conservative news is in Canada right now. It's taken seriously by a lot of people. A lot of people watch this and they're like, have you heard about the Canadian gulags? Yes, it's true. Communist Canada and its gulags, and they're actually keeping people in Hilton hotels. They're forcing them to have to stay in these 4-star luxury suites.
Hilton Hotel near the Toronto airport. And John, first things first, before we dissect what happened to you, how was it that you coming into Canada via land, how did you end up on one of those shuttles to bring you to that quarantine Hilton in the first?
Like, I gotta be honest, as embarrassing as this is, I don't think anyone in America rises to this level. Like, I think if Tim Pool tried to do this, he would be laughed off the internet, right? if Tim Pool genuinely was like, yeah, I'm gonna fake interview a guy wearing a mask about having to stay in a hotel and say it was akin to the gulags of the USSR, that probably wouldn't even make it in right-wing circles.
First place.
I don't think even Andy Ngo could get away with this, you know?
So what I'm being told at the border was the test
maybe
has to be
Crowder.
valid within 72 hours, which mine was. But from Dubai, it wasn't from Qatar. But
Oh, he had to say 72 full hours in the Hilton. 72. Did you hear that, everybody? I bet they'll show his food pretty soon. Like it's a matter of here we go. Let's look at the forced starvation methods they employed on him.
On your hotel room door at the Hilton, no seafood. And what did you get for lunch that day?
so sandwich along with a Caesar salad that had anchovies in it.
So a tuna fish sandwich, which I think tuna swim in the sea, and a Caesar salad with anchovies in the dressing. And I mean, this is unbelievable because as we know, John, it is the Red Cross that is doing the food service catering there. I thought the Red Cross is supposed to keep people out of the hospital, not put them in the hospital.
You know, and I thought the same thing, but it seems like, so what happens as soon as you get to that hotel, the Red Cross calls you and you need to register with their charity, and they want access to all your personal information. And I kept refusing to register with that.
No, this isn't a joke. This is no joke. Trust me. You come over here to Canada, we put you into one of these hotels, you don't know what you're going to be eating. Yeah, no dude about it. Just about a time till you have yourself a sandwich. Might have that little bit of that fish on there. Ooh.
And I was told on the phone, I have hours of phone calls recorded, and I was told on the phone by the Red Cross that if I don't register, they can't help me any further. And the only thing they're going to provide is basic meals, and that's it. Nothing at all. So everything was just a nightmare after a nightmare.
Well, they were obviously incompetent in following the written directions not to give you seafood. But then it gets even worse. They yeah, we'll get around to getting you a replacement lunch. And I think when we chatted on the phone, about 7 hours had gone by and that replacement lunch hadn't shown up yet. So if you might remember the report, folks, we felt so bad for John that I put in an order for a...
Oh my God, you broke into the hotel with a pizza? Please. Yes.
We're here.
Yes.
I've got a pizza for delivery and some other foodstuffs. Thank you.
I've gotta break into this prison, see? Don't worry, we'll scam it. I'll shove it up my a-hole. Then we'll get you that pizza. I'm breaking into this Canadian gulag. I'm smuggling the pizza right in.
Oh, hello, can you hear me? Oh, it's for an individual staying at the hotel.
So you have to go past security.
Pardon me?
You have to go to the security car parked at the front. So you have to go through them.
I'm Dave Menzies, Rebel News. I was just talking to the...
None of you believe me now. None of you believe me that this is real. This is all 100% real.
What's that? I was told by the front desk to talk to you about a food delivery.
My God.
Well, she's on the walkie-talkie. I don't know to whom. I'm just acquiescing.
Oh, you amateurs. You need music for this. Scary music. I got some from High Level Ideas. Hold on. Tension. Yeah, here we go.
To the request by the front desk. Oh, no, ma'am. I was talking to the... ma'am, there is a man in this hotel who is being starved.
Just closes the window again.
So just want to let you know that you're trespassing on private property.
Oh, sorry. Who are you, sir?
I'm in charge of security for the facility.
Oh, okay. Can I see your security license, please?
No, you can't.
Okay, then, well...
You can call the police. I can get you to step off the property, please.
Oh, well, you have to show me your security license if you're a security guard. That's the law.
Sure. If you could just step off the property.
No, not until I see your license.
So he actually had to get it.
Mr. Menzies, I appreciate everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I told you that you can't be here on private property, so I'm giving you a lawful request to step off the property.
Okay, do you have any ID? You haven't shown me your security license.
Here's your question. You can give them a call, okay?
They don't return our calls.
That's all that I'm able to give you.
You know, officer, is there a way I can get this food to this individual?
Oh, of
You
course
can
the
leave it with
police.
us, and you can give us the name, and we can make an attempt for you. But we're not here to facilitate that, right? We're here to we're here. You don't have a lawful reason to be here right now, right? And you've been asked to leave.
Well, I don't know. I think this is a citizen's arrest. I mean, can I not deliver a freshly baked pizza to someone in need? He's starving up there. He's been starving for apparently 7 hours since his last meal. This is inhumane.
And all we're doing is just ensuring that you make your way.
Okay, I thought it was a hotel open to the public.
I would like to specify again, jokes aside, that he is able to get away with all this again because he comes from a place of unbelievable privilege. All right, like you can't just walk around up to Canadian police, you know, as an Indigenous person, and then like start being like, "Hey, I'm allowed to be in there. Like this quarantine area, apparently a lot of people are in there with COVID or something. I'm allowed to be inside there. Here's my pizza."
You know, but if you're telling me to leave, we will leave right now.
Yep.
I will phone.
Nowhere on the property, right? So.
Okay, we have our cars are parked on the property, so we have to.
You can go ahead and grab them and drive off, and that's not an issue at all.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, there you go, John. You weren't able to physically watch that from your hotel room. I don't think it was facing.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have.
Oh God, he got an apple, but it has some irregularities. And then they're going to show his other meal.
It is absolutely shocking. Can you tell us what it was like being in that hotel? Obviously, they don't care if you starve. They don't care if they give you food that is going to cause a severe allergic reaction. They don't care if they give you apples with insects in it.
Yeah.
What else?
Definitely could have been insects in there. Also, by the way, you're allowed to order any food you want, but terrible.
So it's
and that's the other thing about all this. Like, chat, you're totally right. Like, again, it's making a mountain out of like nothing. It's drowning in a puddle because like these are the same people who, when faced with real abject poverty, like real deplorable living conditions, they will make fun of them. They'll go into tent cities in Toronto and then like go into people's tents as if they like it's totally fine because they don't consider property and be like, why are you here? What are you doing here? Like, don't you know you destroy the property value around here? Like, what are you trying to do? What's wrong with you, right? Like, they're really shitty human beings. And as like lolcow as they are, and this is absolutely fucking hilarious. Like, the whole thing from bottom up is ridiculous. They're not like, they're making a mockery of what suffering is. They're making a mockery of what being imprisoned is. They're making a mockery of what being detained is, what being starved is. They're making a mockery of all of that without even knowing it, because they don't take any of it seriously. Because none of them have ever actually suffered in their lives. Because the entire thing is a fucking living joke to them. That's it. That's the whole thing at the end of the day. But also ridiculous. So if you'd like to help them out, you can support them. You know, they've had some hard times. He got in trouble for going to a Radisson hotel, I think, and trespassing, doing the same thing.
When this occurred, sir?
Yes, sir.
Just being a general nuisance.
To the front entrance of the hotel. Here, check it out.
Unlike what Jamie told us last time,
Closed for construction.
it doesn't look like it's under construction. I mean,
No, not closed for construction. What you saying there? This whole thing seems like a big old dubious story there, eh? Not going to believe that for a second. No.
done something to it.
I don't care how many loonies you got or doonies. It's not going to make me believe a second that this is real. Look in there.
Head back out.
What a goddamn lie. Look at this Canadian gulag, eh? The Radisson city is situated right there. Justin Trudeau. There's your Communist Manifesto come to life.
Yeah, so that's considered to be trespassing, except there's just one hitch, folks. There are different levels of private property. Yes, this Radisson is a private property, much like a shopping mall, a restaurant is, but they tend to welcome in members of the public.
But there was no way to know, you know? I'm just looking behind me. I see the sign. I mean, I didn't even take a chance to read it or anything. And then suddenly someone's telling me I'm trespassing on private property there, buddy. No.
After my initial visit.
Like, big zoom in on it. How could they do this? Why was I kicked off the property? Oh, is this another anonymous?
Allegations of sexual assault. We've heard so many confirmed stories that the food is garbage. In the case of one individual we met, potentially deadly because he had a seafood allergy and he was, of course, served seafood. And the funny thing, too, is this hotel, folks, isn't even on the official government list of quarantine hotels.
Fuck. We're through the looking glass here, people. Hey, Do you like movies? Do you like Serfs? Do you want movies and Serfs watching the movies? So then come over to the new channels. It's the Serfs Cinema. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Can you do the thing, that thumbs up and comment and all those things that help us out in the algorithm that controls every aspect of our lives? Also, if you happen to have a Facebook account, can you delete it? Like, just delete it. You should probably delete your Facebook account because it's not a great company. But hey, if you can't do that for whatever reason, I understand. And could you also go to facebook.com/thesurftimes then and give us a little like and a follow. We're just trying to push back against the fact that people like Ben Shapiro happen to dominate the platform entirely. And when everyone asks why do older generations believe the things they believe, one of the problems is the majority of them on social media use Facebook. So to counter that, we're just going to be on there too now. Also, if you happen to have a union or a worker co-op or even a leftist project, podcast, website, Zoom, MySpace, it doesn't matter. We will advertise it for free on this channel. All you got to do is go to weareserfs.com and use the forms that we got there, weareserfs.com. Thanks, everybody.
To our gods, I'm Raft and Xander Corvus. We shall build golden idols in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker. Our soft, spongy flesh is yours to command. To our lords, Evan Nudie, Trevor R., Alexander Thaler, Ryan Lubin, Bisexual Black Gamer, Toe Fox, and Jeffrey Lamb, we proudly carry your sigils onto the battlefield. And to our Knights of the Round Table, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Timothy Hart, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophagic, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, Kelly Kotka, The Great Pudini, Von Janny, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Encosin, J. Fraser Cartwright, Jimmy Bignuts, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Nicholas Marks, Jopi, Josh Mickelson, Melissa Murphy, Todd Buckingham, Todd LaJeunesse, and Constance Joyce Lacheris. We tip our cap and lift our mug and salute you.